Speaker Success in the Morning. Speaker Success in the Morning. Currently, it's 18 minutes after the hour. And y'all, I hope you're having an amazing morning today. This is Tuesday. This is Teach Me Tuesday. Teach Me Tuesday. Okay? Teach Me Tuesday. Teach Me Tuesday. Teach Me Tuesday. We're not here to play. Gonna get into this entrepreneurship conversation today. All right, so look, today we're gonna talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. Like I was saying before, one of my favorite podcasts is Diary of a CEO by the host Stephen Bartlett, and he is our brother from across the pond. And Stephen gets some of the most phenomenal entrepreneurs and begins to have these conversations, some about money, some about business, some about life, but ultimately they're so beneficial, so fruitful. And ultimately, one thing that I've always have taken away from his episodes, outside of that, he is a phenomenal podcast host, right? The host skill set is there, the setup is there. I just appreciate his show and what he's doing and what he's done. But then I saw a clip yesterday. Producer Britt shared a clip with me just the other day, and I was like, this is something worth sharing. So as we're talking about entrepreneurship, what I want to bring up is, first, okay, so Stephen Bartlett, let me get clear on this. So Stephen Bartlett, he brought on 3 entrepreneurs, and these are the Avengers of entrepreneurship because they really are killing it in their respective industries. So there's Cody Sanchez. She is one of the bosses in ultimately acquiring businesses. Then there's Daniel Priestley, and he is a guru when it comes to getting this data, getting analytics, making the best data-driven decisions. Then there's Alex Hermosi, who is one of the best marketers that I've ever seen in business. And after seeing some of the interview and talking with producer Britt, then I was like, it makes sense to do an episode about entrepreneurship. Like, do you really want to be an entrepreneur? Like, do you say you want to be an entrepreneur, but is that really what you want? Like, for real, for real? So what we're about to do right here, I'm about to roll a clip, and we're going to go back and forth through it, and we're going to break it down, talking a little bit about entrepreneurship, okay? So let's go ahead and pull the clip, and let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get it going.
Okay, so there's part of me that can't really believe that I'm going to be making this video, but I'm going to make it because I think we have to understand this, in the world. And I think that we have to, start to come.
Okay, he's starting off slow. But long story short, he is comparing the 9-to-5 life to entrepreneurship. And he's saying, well, some people say that entrepreneurship is great, and others don't. They fail to realize that there are a lot of stresses that come with entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's where this video goes. Actually, it's a longer video. I'm not gonna actually play the full video, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna draw some comparisons. Okay, I'm gonna draw just a few comparisons. So one thing that we don't account for at times is that being an entrepreneur, right? And this is gonna be the episode to where if you desire to be an entrepreneur, I am going to give you every reason why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. Okay, so I'm gonna fight on this episode so that you won't want to pursue entrepreneurship. Okay, point blank and period. But then at the end, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say why it could be beneficial for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so look, why entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. Y'all, here's the deal. Being an entrepreneur, it's unpredictable income. You don't know where the next payment is coming from necessarily. You're not sure if you're going to get this client. You're not sure if you're going to get that client. And I've seen this through me having my business for about 8 years. Well, going on almost 10 years now. Excuse me. Almost 10 years now. Okay. The income is unpredictable. I used to drive Uber before I became an entrepreneur, and then I continued to drive Uber as I began to speak and as I began to sell books, because there's no guarantee of a paycheck and there's no benefits. Come on, somebody. And I didn't really understand the benefits of benefits until I had children and I got married. Okay. Then the other side is like there's high risk and there's stress with that life of an entrepreneur, right? So there's the financial, the legal, and the marketing risks that all at the end of the day fall on you. If you desire to be an entrepreneur, these will fall on you as opposed to if you work for a job or if you work for somebody else's business, then they all fall on the top dog, whoever that might be. It's not you. So everything rises and falls on you. The other part is the time commitment. People say, oh man, I want to be an entrepreneur. They seem like they have all the time in the world. They seem like they living their best life. They seem like they free all the time. The fact of the matter is, being an entrepreneur, you're going to work multiples of the hours that you would work for whatever job you work. And you're not going to get paid overtime. Let me take my glasses off. And you're not going to get paid for overtime, right? Because it's longer than a traditional 9 to 5 most of the time. And especially on the front end, because people talk about passive income and people talk about passive income, and they also talk about, well, multiple streams of income and all these different things. But here's the deal. You have to build to a certain point to where you can put systems in place and to where you then can generate that passive income. But before then, you are working, and you're working longer hours than most. I was watching a Gary Vee interview the other day with Adam Brenneman, and he began to say that he feels that balance is working 9 to 7, and that's light. He said 9 to 7, Monday through Thursday. And he was like, that's light. Because Adam said, well, I want to build $100 million media company. Well, he was like, hey, bro, if that's what you want to do, basically you're going to be working around the clock for some time until you get to a point to where you then can like level it out a little bit, or you can make some other decisions. But for now, nah, bro, that's not what it is. And then, y'all, here's the deal. You're the boss. You're the marketer. You're the accountant. Let me speak to your manager. You are the manager. Let me speak to customer service. You are customer service. You are the one who is fulfilling the areas to where there's complaints. You're the ones who's filling and covering the areas to where, oh, your payroll. If you are providing insurance for your company, then you're the one incurring. You're the one acquiring that cost as well. So there's those things. Then let's talk about a little bit loneliness and the pressure and loneliness of entrepreneurship, right? Some of y'all like, John, this is so depressing. Why are you getting down on entrepreneurship? We're going to get to the benefits in just a little bit. We'll get to the benefits. But there's no built-in team structure unless you create it, right? There's no SOPs, right? We don't know the processes that work for your business because you have to create them. You go into a job or a corporation, they have it. They got the handbook, and they give you these nice pamphlets. They give you these papers. They say we got to do this, this, this. Mm-mm. And I'm telling y'all that because I'm, like I said, in year like 10 of my business now, I'm beginning to create SOPs now, so that people, if I can't go to a job, if I can't do a job, and somebody else gets brought on to do that, or hired or contracted to do that, well, guess what? Then they can go and they can set up my podcast stuff. They could even go and speak on my behalf because SOPs will be in place, right? So there's structure and there is things that really set that up to where there's no questions asked, right? But like I said, man, all the costs fall on you. Cost to be the boss. Okay, so let's give a real life example. Okay, so there have been a few times in my business to where I brought on some people to work with me. Like I contracted them to work with me for a little bit. And the thing about people that you bring on is if they do a job, they want to get paid, they desire to be paid, and also they should be paid. However, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you're like, ooh, can we hold off? Like, can I push this payment back? And I have that experience when I used to work for a nonprofit. Because if you ever have worked for a nonprofit, or maybe you might work for a nonprofit now, yes, there's grants and there's all kinds of funding that can be secured. But at the same time, if that funding has not been secured, then you're bootstrapping. And there were times to where I was a director of the after school program, and then I was not able to give people their checks. And imagine going into a weekend. My God in heaven, yikes. Imagine going into a weekend and then you have teenagers that were planning on going to the movies, planning on going and hanging out, maybe going and working out, paying for their gym membership, buying new shoes, buying some clothes. And you got to let them know, I know you might have had a date this weekend, bruh, but I don't got no check for you. I know you might have had to pay the bill this weekend, but I don't got no check for you. Like, that sucks. That sucks a lot, okay? That sucks very, very bad. So being in that position and being able to, or having to tell people that and those things, that's what comes with entrepreneurship, right? Because you're literally building something. And let me look. Okay, because when we talk about entrepreneurship, this is what it looks like, okay? It looks like you building something from the ground up. Literally, you're building something. So for entrepreneurship, you're either selling something, right? You're selling something, you're saying something, right? Speaking, talking, consulting, creating something. So selling something could be you pushing other products for other people. It also could be you pushing your own products. Could be you selling ideas, right? So getting with somebody, telling them you can consult them, but you're selling like a skill set. You're selling to where it's exchange of time for dollars, or excuse me, transaction for dollars versus time for dollars, because the transaction ultimately is whatever you say that you're going to do. Prime example, when I was doing my podcast community, people would pay me and then they would sign up for the program to where I was telling them I'm going to give them all the tools, all the information that they need to get their podcast up and running. But get this, there were certain times to where I was doing my marketing, and from me doing my marketing, certain people wouldn't show up. So look, let me break it down to y'all. So this is what entrepreneurship looks like in real time. Okay, in real time. So I started selling a podcast program for $2,500. Okay. I had people coming through the doors. $2,500. I'm selling the program. Boom, 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 getting them in. I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. And mind you, I was doing this through the process of a webinar, right? If you don't know the process of a webinar, let me go ahead and just break it down for you at a high level. So ultimately, I say, hey, y'all, I'm doing this training for people that want to start podcasts. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, sign up. You should go. Okay. So then some people were signing up. Yes. It was great because people were signing up for the training. And then after they signed up for the training, then I would call them one by one. Hey, what's going on, Bob? I saw you signed up for the training. Just want to give you a quick call, let you know I'm looking forward to seeing you there. They're like, yeah, that's awesome, John. Thanks for calling me. So, right, I'm advertising the training. I'm calling the people to make sure that they show up for the training. Why? Because I'm spending dollars to advertise and market this upcoming training. Okay, stay with me. So then as we keep going down this, then a couple of days later, then I would do the training. There were some times I would have 100+ people sign up, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I would call these people, and they would say they're going to show up for the training. And then they did not show up for the training. Why does that matter, John? Why is it so important? This is why, okay? And y'all, we're talking about entrepreneurship. And right now I'm breaking down the process of a webinar because this is entrepreneurial in the entrepreneurial mind of me right now. Because if they didn't show up for the training that I'm paying dollars to advertise and get them to, now it's literally like me doing like this, into the wind. because the people that show up on the training, these were the people that I can pitch my product, my program, and or service to. Okay? And then the goal was always to generate more money on the training than I did spend advertising. All right? And like Russell Brunson always says, you want to at least get $2 back for your one. At least. That's on the low level. And the reason why I'm breaking this down and sharing this with y'all as we about to get ready to take a quick commercial break is because if you're not making more than you're spending, then you will begin to accrue debt. Y'all, it got to the point to where not only did the program that I was selling, it was still beneficial. People were getting results. I was helping people get their podcast up. I was helping people generate money from their podcast. However, then there was other people that started doing podcast programs. Okay. And then the other people that are doing podcast programs, their followings were significantly larger than mine. So now in this world of entrepreneurship, may the odds ever be in your favor, because now you have to go head to head with other people who are selling a product that could be the same as yours, but either way, people are going to take a step back and they're going to look at it and they're going to say, well, And they're going to begin to compare price. And they're going to say, John's selling this for $2,500. This person is selling this for $997. This person has shown that they have a little bit more success than John. Do I like John more than this person? Or do I like the access that John is offering? So now the other part of entrepreneurship, you have to create an offer. And if you don't create an offer, and if you don't understand the language that the people that are starving for what you have to offer, connect the dot between, the offer and where I am, this is what I need, then that's another struggle that comes with entrepreneurship. Y'all, it is a straight up struggle when you're trying to get to a place and get to a space to where you are self-sustained on the business that you've created and the work that you're doing. So understanding that, are you sure that you want to be an entrepreneur? Like, are you really, really sure? Because we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to see where you're at. We'll be right back with more Speaker Success in the Morning. If you have not hit that subscribe button, make sure to smash that and also hit that thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you're enjoying this content. Be back with more Speaker Success in just a moment.